Hi, good evening everybody. In this video we're going to do a 3-for-3 trade with the New York Rangers coming up. Alright guys, I'm not going to use the board for this one because it's going to cost time, and I want to put up a few videos tonight since I wasn't active yesterday. And guys, when it comes to anything animal rescue and things like that, I'm just not here, you know. So sorry for yesterday. Priorities are a little kitty cat over all of you. There you go. So we're gonna do a trade proposal I came up with. I want to see what you guys think of this. And before I put this up there and give everybody a heart attack, keep in mind this is just for fun. It's just something I want to get the reaction of the community. It's, you know, the yes and no. I like to read through the notes and see how you guys react to it. And we will get on this and then talk about it a bit. So I will put my trade proposal up. And there you see it. I got Kaapo Kakko, Philip Chytil, Ryan Reeves going to Buffalo for Victor Olofsson, Jacob Bryson, and our 2023 second rounder that Vegas gave us. So keep in mind, Kakko is 21, Philip Chytil 22, and these are young studs in New York that maybe, I wouldn't say Chytil so much, but I think Kakko's time is wearing out over there. Just feels like it, you know? What do you guys think? Would you do it? This is the kind of trade, guys, I would do. I know it'd be a controversial trade, but I'm thinking of the future here. And I think a guy like Kakko just hasn't even come close to his stride yet. And I think under a coach like Granato would, you know, and Chytil as well is, oh, and I didn't mention, Kakko's RFA, okay, Ryan Reeves, 1.8 million. Actually, I'll put it in the clip when I put it. Ryan Reeves, we need for muscle, absolutely. I'd like to have him in the lineup. He's probably one of the scariest dudes in the league, who I cheer on the Bombers in the CFL. For those of you that don't know, that's our football league out here. And his dad used to be the running back in Winnipeg back in the 80s when I was a fan way back then. And Philip Chytil is only 22, right? But his cap hit is 2.3 for one more year, and Reeves is 1.8 for one more year. Olofsson, 4.75 for 2 more years. Jacob Bryson, 1.85 for 2 years. And of course, the second rounder. This is just something, guys, I came up with just for fun. Really just for something to talk about and get a video up there and talk a little bit about it. And yes, before I forget, the reason why, okay? I was thinking of this too. There's a few reasons I wrote down that I think would make sense. The Rangers, I could tell you right now, need a defenseman. They need a defenseman. If you go look at their roster and Cap Friendly, you'll see what I'm talking about. I believe they have 5. Is it 5 under contract? I should have kept it open. I believe it's 5 or 6 max, but I believe it's 5. I'll check in a sec. But I'm thinking, guys, this gives a positive message to a guy like Laaksonen, who can actually make a challenge to make the league, to really make the league now, you know. So that would give Laaksonen a chance, and it would send a positive message, let's say, to Ryan Johnson, a clear message to him that he's in our plans. The real truth is, are we in his? You see, that would bring that out, I'm thinking. Let me just check that Ranger scenario, guys, because that's kind of what got me going on this trade. And the Rangers, if they're that short of blue liners, especially these guys they're a physical team though, but they're also a puck moving team also. So I think a guy like Bryson would fit in over there. Yeah, they only got 5 defensemen, guys, under contract right now. That's weird to look at this far into the summer, but there's 5 and 11 forwards. Don't forget though, they only have 18 signed out of 23. So of course they're going to fill those spots, but I'm thinking for a guy like Bryson and a goal scorer like Olofsson, would they give up on a huge prospect like Kakko and even Chytil as well? Would they? Probably not. we'd probably have to sweeten his deal. I'm guessing with a prospect or something. It's just my guess. I don't think we could get this deal for these guys. You know, I know Olofsson got 20 goals, but Kakko's going to have a better career than Olofsson. You know, I'll just put it right out there. Yes, he's had a slow start, but my goodness, this guy's on the cusp. I would not surprise me this year if he gets like 35 goals, this guy. So, would they do it? I don't know. I don't know. Depends what's going on with him and management behind the scenes. I mean, when they're talking about moving Panarin, guys, anybody can be moved then in New York, right? This is what's going on. You heard it. You heard it in the news where, you know, Drury wasn't happy with Panarin, apparently behind the scenes. Now, I'm not saying Panarin, and we had our eyes maybe on him years ago, right, to get him as a free agent. The Rangers snagged him up. But a guy like Kakko, I could see moving because he's been in more than one trade rumor. He has been. And Philip Chittle, I don't know, maybe. You know, maybe they'd unload another forward to get, they'd want a defenseman in the package, that's for sure. And the only blue liner I can see us willing to move, which it's not a bad one, Bryson, he's just like, he's small, there's not much size there. And that might fit in though with the Rangers. It might not fit into their plans either, you know? So, Olofsson, Bryson, second rounder, and it would have to be the Vegas one because I want to get rid of anything Jack Eichel related. In this, I just want anything Vegas related off the books. And you know, I'd be all in for this because I think in the long run we'd rip them off completely. I do. I think this would be a rip-off in the long run. This is a number 2 overall pick. He was highly touted. You guys remember that. And I just don't buy into the conspiracy theorists that say a guy this young is a bust. Everybody was saying this just about Dahlin not long ago. Now we could get a massive haul for Rasmus Dahlin. That's what will happen with this guy, I believe. Eventually, this guy's going to turn the corner. He's going to get his game together, and it's going to, you know, he's one of those guys that is developing, I believe, properly, guys. I don't believe you just come in the league, you have immediate impact, just like so many people are waiting for, the immediate gratification into the NHL. It doesn't work that way. I would have put something for Lafreniere. I would have, but I don't think Lafreniere is realistic. I don't think they'll ever move him. I don't think there's any chance Lafreniere will move, unless he asks to get out or something like that eventually. But I can't see them moving Lafreniere. Kakko, I can see them kind of, because even his playoffs was, you know, it wasn't bad. If I check real quick, guys, Kakko's playoffs, you know, there's a lot of things that play into a deal like this. You know, like Drury. That's the first thing I'm guessing Drury would look at. You know, Kakko in the playoffs, guys, 19 games, 2 goals, and they were 2 wins from the finals. They were up 2-0 in the semifinals, and they could have got there. Maybe if this guy would have exploded. Not saying he's to blame. He's a 21-year-old kid. But this is something, if I'm a guy like Chris Drury, I'm looking at saying, you know what? He had his chance to step up to the plate, and it was, you know, it was at best. 19 games, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. He was a +1, but I mean, it's, I don't know. 43 games, 7 goals, 11 assists last year. Not much, guys. His numbers aren't good. This is the time to jump on a deal like this. And the Rangers, 48 the year before, 48 games, 9 goals, 8 assists for 17 points. The year before, 66 games, 10 goals, 13 assists, but he was a rookie there. So now he's for them, the good news for them and for us, if we ever landed this guy in a deal, he's not going to command a ton of money scoring 26 goals in 157 games. He's just not. 58 points, he's a -14. His numbers aren't good. They're not good, guys. This is something I would jump on, though, because he's a number 2 overall pick. He's 6'3", 199 pounds. We all know how big he was in the draft that year. We all know. So Kakko, of course, would be the key piece coming back, and Olofsson going over there would be the key piece. I mean, they'd have a guy right away that would fit in on their power play and their offensive system. It would work good. He'd do good over there. He'd have a better year this year than Kakko, most likely. And I say that cautiously because Kakko, I could see having 30 to 35 goals. I could see him having a Tage Thompson type season very soon, this guy. And I'm not saying, I'm not going to be of the theory he's a bust. I'm just not. No. There's too many guys that had him highly picked and everything. There's just way too much upside that is potential, you know? And I'd love to have Granato teaching them. So I'm going to leave this one, guys. I got to get on the next one. I got a few coming at you. See you in that one.